Big ideas, real talk. I'm Sarah Press, and this is Nothing Small About Business. All right, we are 32 episodes in. I don't know if you're joining us for the first time today. If you are, thank you so much. Or if you've been with us for the last 32 weeks, we've had some really incredible guests on the show. And this summer lineup is going to be pretty awesome as well. Every week we've got people coming on the show talking about all the things that they've learned starting a business, growing a business, all the good things, the bad things, the lessons learned. So that being said, today's episode, we have Danielle. She is the founder and CEO of Beautifully New, which is a med spa in the town I live in. And what's super exciting is that she just opened up her second location in River North, which is in downtown Chicago, for those that are not from here. And in this episode, she talks all about pivoting from being a nurse to starting her med spa to growing it to then deciding to open another location. She talks about bringing on her kids. It's now a family business, which I think is so cool. So you guys are going to really enjoy this episode. Thanks again for being here. And if you find value in this episode, please share it with a friend. All right, Danielle, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is honestly, I'm honored. So thank you.
Oh, I'm really excited because huge congratulations. Last week, you literally opened your second location. So I feel like there's going to be so much and so many questions that I have for you. But before we get into opening your second location, can you first talk to me about what it was like making the leap to starting your first location in Park Ridge?
It's so funny that you said starting my first location was I don't want to say easy, but it was like I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any aspirations as far as what the business would look like or what it would be or how much it would make, or I just wanted to find something I was passionate about. I was at a point in my life when my kids were starting to move on from our household. They were growing up, they were going to college. And I knew I'd been a nurse practitioner for many years. I'd worked in hospital nursing. I'd worked in the hospital as a nurse practitioner. I knew I didn't want to go back to that. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I won't even do anything healthcare related. I just wasn't sure. So I spent probably a good year and a half just trying to explore things that maybe and might be of interest to me. And I took a class, I saw something. I just happened to be on Instagram. Somebody advertised that they were offering a class in Botox and fillers, and people had suggested that all along to me. And I thought, I don't know if I'm that person. I mean, I've experienced treatments. I like the treatments myself, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be the actual provider. So I thought, let's just go to the class. And it was like a cold morning in Chicago. I remember waking up and I was like, ugh, do I want to go to this? Is this going to be another thing I go to that I'm not really interested in?
Such a waste of time, right?
Yeah, quite the opposite. I went to the class and I fell in love with it from the minute I injected my first patient. So I thought to myself, you know what? Even if I do this as a hobby, even if I just treat friends and family, or if I just kind of dabble in this, let's just see how it goes. And my husband at the time had a private office that he was treating patients out of, but he only was there twice a week. So 3 days a week, this office went unused. So I asked him, hey, can I take one of your treatment rooms, turn it into my treatment room, like with a chair and with all of the things, and just kind of see how it goes. And he was, of course, I had kind of laid it out to him. Our marriage worked in a way where I stayed home with the kids for the majority of it. I definitely kept my hand in the workforce, but I didn't work full time. And I was the primary, default parent. And so as things were transitioning for us, I did say to him, I need this to be a little bit more about me now. I need to find something that will fill my cup and, still allow us to be together and be there for our kids. But I do need something for myself. And he was in full agreement. He's like, yes, this is, I don't want to be one of those women whose kids leave for school and it's their entire life is walking out the door.
Right. And you're like, now what? Now what am I going to do?
Exactly. And I didn't want the negative, there's a negative connotation around being an empty nester. Like your nest is now empty. What are you going to do? Your life is going to become devastating. I knew that that was not what I saw in my future. I wanted to be I wanted to, be happy that my kids were leaving. They're full-grown adults. They're living in the world. They're becoming.
Right, that's what you hope for is that they grow up to be these, like, beings that can exist on their own. Yeah.
But if you get on TikTok and you start listening to some of these empty nest stories, I mean, it can be very daunting and depressing. I just, like I said, I just did not want to be that person who was sad all the time that their kids were, you know,
I wanna make sure I don't get on that algorithm. That's not in my feed right now, so let's
not be,
keep that one out of there.
yes, now you're going to get all these TikTok videos.
Right, my TikTok feed is gonna change after this.
And it really does come quicker than you think. I mean, it really does. Like your kids are getting older too. So I just, anyway, so that was my main goal in starting this business. Never in a million years did I realize that I would go from I remember thinking, God, if I could just get like 10 patients, wouldn't that be great? If I could get 20 patients, next thing you know, we're at 100 patients. Then we went to 1,000 patients. I could not believe how the
Wow.
growth was. Yeah. I think it was a matter of right place, right time. I think, I don't toot my own horn a lot, but I'm good at what I do. So I think
We are here to toot your horn today, so please toot away.
I'm not one of those people that I'm like, I'm just so great. But I just felt a passion for it. I felt good at it. And I think I also felt a connection with patients that I don't feel like they always received going to other places. I always saw this as a long-term game. It was more like I wanted to have these people in my lives for the long haul. Because I know that you're not going to walk into an aesthetic practice and get one Botox treatment and your life is going to be changed forever. It's just not the way it works. And we
Right.
we have to explain that every day to patients. It's you have to be consistent. And no one is going to want to be consistent with treatments in a practice that they don't feel welcome, they don't feel at home in. So that was my
Mhm.
main goal, is just to make everyone feel welcome, comfortable, you're in a safe space. I wanna make sure you know all your options. There is absolutely no pressure. There is never any pressure to complete a treatment, but I'm here to educate you on what's available and what the timeline looks like. And I think that really resonated with people and patients responded. And as we sit today, we have thousands of patients that I've treated over the years. And when I look back on some of their before and afters from 7 years ago when they first started with me, they're unrecognizable because their skin looks brighter, they look younger, they feel better.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, to be able to see people's, like,
Yeah,
transformations, because, like you said, like, it's a process. It's like what you're doing on a daily basis and then a monthly basis, and, like, all that stuff
yeah,
matters, so having a business over the course of years where you're taking care of these patients
right.
and seeing the progress they're making is so cool. So, do you feel like, though, so you were a nurse prior.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you had any idea what you were getting into becoming a business owner when you started your practice?
Never in a million years, never in a million years did I realize. And so much of it is about the people that are in your business, and it's about nurturing them as well. And it's not just about the patients, because of course that's so important. But if your people aren't happy and if your people aren't the right fit for your organization, then that is really what's that's really been ingrained in me from the years that I've been in practice. Is not everyone is a good fit for us, and not a, and we're not a good fit for everyone. So it's sort of like you've got to fit the culture. You have to be willing to kind of go above and beyond, but also I think, provide a lot to our employees. So I feel like a connection with them, and sometimes it's really hard when they move on. And I think people don't understand that too. I think they think that someone will leave and it's not traumatic for me too. It's traumatic for
Right? You're like,
it's traumatic for
it's
you.
a loss, right?
It's a loss for me too, like, so it's not always easy. That part to me, the people management part did not come naturally. So I've had to do a
Mhm.
lot of coaching classes and working with different business coaches and, really trying to perfect the art of leadership, and that's not always easy. That
Right. Yeah. I find it so interesting when people have a specific craft. Like for you, for example, you were a nurse and moving into like aesthetics, but there was no formal business training behind that. And sometimes that could be a blessing and sometimes that could be a curse. And in some ways, with the blessing, it's like, do you feel like you just went in with like, okay, I have to make this work. We're going to do whatever we need to do? Or what was your like business plan going into it?
And
So
how did you find that success initially?
my business plan sort of just kept evolving with growth. So every time we kind of got a little more growth, I had to change and morph into what was needed from me. So, and that is one of the biggest issues with business ownership, I think, is and misconceptions is you're not going to know everything, but you better know who to go to teach you what to learn. You know, so there are I've made mistakes in hiring coaches that did not provide anything, but I've also found great mentorship and great coaching too. So I think making those connections with the other people in the industry has really helped me. And being a genuine person towards them as well, not just trying to take from them all the information, but also like, hey, let's collaborate and let's really try to help each other. That's really helped me evolve as a leader. But leadership is not just saying you're going to show up or saying words. I think people like to sound like they swallowed a hard drive sometimes, like with these phrases and words and things. It's actually really caring. It's really getting to the deep. Hey, let me tell me what is actually going on. What is the root of the issue here? You need more time with your kids. Is that what it is? Let's try to work through this. So it's not always black and white, and that's I think one of the things that I've really had to learn too. You can read all the leadership books, you can read, you can take all the classes and it helps, but you got to have some emotional intelligence. And I think that's if you don't have that, it's going to be a struggle. You've got to kind of, and I think I've always, that's been one of my strengths through life is just always kind of being able to read people a little bit. Your team makes your business. And I,
Right, it can make or break. I going back to that, what you just said really sparked an idea. It's like you can't be so black and white because that's not how life works. Life is not always black and white. There's a huge gray area.
right.
And one of the things that we implemented at our practice was not keeping track of days off. So it wasn't like you have 2 weeks off. It was like
Right.
if you need to take a day off, if life happened to you and you need the day, take it. We're not going to keep track of it. And just don't abuse the system because then once that happens, then other decisions need to be made. But honestly, it's worked great. And I feel like people that are the employees and the team, like they appreciate that as well. Cause you understand like, yes, we're running a business here, but at the end of the day, we're all human and things happen. And so I think that like what you said there is key.
Yeah, that's really funny because we've really struggled with our PTO policy and our time off policy. And yes, we need our employees to be there to make the business function, but we also want your lives to work as well. So we've kind of met in the middle, just like you said. We provide a certain amount of PTO. Once that's done, if you need to take a day off, of course it's unpaid, but you know, I'm not going to say no to a day off. Like if you have to leave and they're completely happy with that, as long as they know that they don't, if I'm never going to tell anyone, oh, you can't go to your daughter's graduation because you ran out of PTO.
Right. You're out. Sorry.
Right. So we do really try to work with our employees that way.
That's awesome. Okay. So you've scaled a huge business. You've grown a social media following. It's so fun to watch you guys and like see what you've built. And it feels like you're such an open book. And I'm curious. So now with opening your second location, take me back to the moments when you were getting to the point where the scales were tipping and you were like, this has been great. Let's make our life a little more chaotic
Yeah.
and open a second location. But
Yeah.
tell me what you were thinking with that.
So we were tipping the scales our current location. Our first location is in Park Ridge, which is a suburb just outside of Chicago for those who don't know. But we were busting at the seams. I mean, there was nowhere to go. There's nothing else I can do. We were all on top of each other. I could see that things were it was almost getting to be an environment where no one wanted to be in as far as working in because we were just all so claustrophobic and, trying to get fit patients in and the footprint that we had. So I started to think to myself, what should we do? Should we open a second location? Financially, it was feasible. It seemed to make sense. So we started kind of just looking around at different locations. And to me, what made sense for me personally would be the city at the most because we did decide to move to the city. And it was just easier for me to look, obviously location wise to be there more often. From a market research standpoint, the city has obviously a much bigger population. So I think that was also appealing to us. But we also know that the city was lacking in what we provide in Park Ridge. So I think that there are a few places that do it well. but there are more places that don't do it great. Don't do, do a more cookie cutter approach to aesthetics. So I felt like there was room in the space to bring our model into the city. So we're still, playing with the patient population. We're still getting used to, how things are going to be different. I'm so used to how the suburbs work as far as the calendar goes. I know exactly when, I know what months are going to be busy. I know the summer is going to be slow because, people are with their kids and they're off doing fun things. So we'll see. We're still those kinds of challenges excite me. Like I love trying to figure out those little pieces of things. And it sounds like we don't have a game plan. We do, but it's just, I also don't live and die by a plan. So I kind of am
Amen,
uh,
right?
learning to pivot because we've had to pivot so many times in our first location.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And that's really funny. Like you talk about, you lived in Park Ridge for a while. So it's like you built your network here. You knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know when graduation's coming and everyone's probably going to do a couple things here and there and like around the holidays, and you really know the demographic here.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting to think about opening a second location in the city, is that your demographic's probably going to be different
Yeah.
because you might have younger patients or older patients. You might not have those same
Yeah.
like moms that are out in suburbia right now.
Yeah. It's interesting. My youngest daughter started working the front desk for us on Saturdays. And she was there over Mother's Day weekend, and we did a flower bar, and we did some gift cards. And she said, "Mom, it was so cute watching all the dads come in and get their gift cards for their wives, and they brought their kids in, and it was really cute to watch." And I remember thinking, God, those are the moments I'm really proud of. Like the fact that people wanted to come to our business to give their spouse, wife, grandmother, mother, whatever, a gift from us just says so much to me. But yes, that's our demographic. So in the city, it's going to be totally different. But again, I love a challenge, and I love to,
You're like, game on, let's
yeah,
go.
we're going to have to figure these people out next. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. I've already noticed there's a difference in what providers they choose, and it's different. So we'll see.
Right, it's just different. So what
To
kind
be
of things
determined.
we'll do a follow-up
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
to see how location 2 is going.
Mm.
What kind of decisions did you have to make around like location? Was that particular or the building? Like what kind of things did you really look for when picking your location?
Yeah, so location to me was very important to be street level. I thought that was it's just one more obstacle that someone doesn't have to worry about as far as, but also secure and safe. So I think we really have found a nice happy medium because we're in an existing building with security, but it's ground level so people can see where we're at, but also plenty of parking. So that was important to me because it's a quiet neighborhood, and it's just right now there's plenty of parking, and it's convenient for our patients to reach us, which is good.
Right, you want to think about like that patient experience. If they
Yeah.
can't find parking, now they're late for their appointment, they're coming in
Right.
stressed, like that doesn't provide the environment you want for them.
Right, exactly. So, and obviously space wise, we knew we needed a bigger space than we currently have. I needed a space for trainings. We do a lot of trainings in Park Ridge, and it really does stress the system right now because it takes a treatment room away, it takes the conference room away. So we're starting to do more trainings for injectors who are flying in from all different places, and it just made sense for us to have a better space to accommodate that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So with expanding the business, you have 2 locations. I've been seeing that you're also getting involved with working with some brands and almost being like a spokesperson. Can you talk to me a little bit about like your plans for expansion beyond the second location?
I have Actually, it's funny you say that. There is something in the works right now with one of the luxury hotels down here. So, but it's very early stages. So we'll have to see. I'm always open to conversations on how our brand can kind of fit in with other brands that are aligned with ours.
That's funny when you're just saying that. A lot of the things that I'm seeing with like marketing trends and stuff for either product-based business or service-based business
Mhm.
is that they're partnering up with not their competitor, but somebody that is a great addition to what they're doing.
Right.
So have you started looking into like some of those opportunities? Or when you guys do events, do you try to pull in other brands or companies from the neighborhoods?
Yeah, so we're always looking to align with brands that we love ourselves. It has to be genuine. That's the thing is even when I bring influencers in or technical, and we don't call them influencers really, but partners, but I you see other businesses utilizing influencers and there's no shade to that, but I don't feel a genuine connection with them. I don't feel like they're going to be with us for the long haul. So currently we have a number of sports reporters that we treat that I am impressed with where they are in their career. They're with us for the long term. They're not, I don't know how to, it's not transactional. So
That's a great word for it. Yeah.
yeah. So I find it that when I'm reached out by companies that represent actual influencers, it doesn't feel genuine to me. It feels like we're completing, like I said, a transaction. Like, what
Hmm.
can you give me for this? And I don't know you. I don't know if I want to work with you. I don't know if you're going to be compliant with my treatment plan. Treatment plans take months. And that's the other thing too, is like we've talked about, to think that you're going to go into one place and have a problem solved with one treatment is just not realistic. And so nobody's benefiting, honestly. Yes, it's getting your name out there, but I just don't feel like it's worth it to me as a business owner to that really, like I said, values those genuine connections to participate.
Right. To do these like one offs. It makes more sense, like you said, to go with like partner with either people or the brands
Right.
where it can be like a longer relationship almost.
Yes, because that's where we see the biggest difference is they get on medical grade skincare. They're um, participating in the treatments or utilizing the treatments that we're recommending. You see the biggest amount of change, and over it takes at least 6 months, honestly, to see a remarkable change.
That's fair. I like that you set that like the tone right off the bat. It's like, don't expect to come in one time and think your life is going to change.
No, nothing. There's nothing worse than someone coming in and saying, "My daughter's wedding is in 2 weeks. What can you?"
In tomorrow.
I needed to see you 6 months ago. So, that's a whole conversation. That's sometimes
Right.
not.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that have like contributed to your success? Like what are the things that you would say that you've done that have had like the biggest impact on, building a successful business?
Well, I think I brought it up earlier, but like I said, I've always seen it as a long game. So I don't see things as this is a patient who's sitting in front of me. I want you to be my patient for a long term. So we came up with our VIP program, and our VIP program is remarkably underpriced. And my financial people hate me, but what I told them was if I'm injecting someone who has skin that is not ready for an injection, so it has not been pre-treated, has not been, has been out in the sun, they haven't taken care of themselves at all, my injections are going to look like crap. They're not going to make a change for the better. It's going to actually backfire on us. So if I can get them invested in a treatment, so our VIP program is they pay a monthly fee of 225. They get a microneedling. They can choose from a microneedling session, which one microneedling session anywhere in the city is about $500 to $700. So and we use Skin Pen, which is those Skin Pen tips are extremely expensive, but they get to choose from a microneedling, a chemical peel, a diamond glow facial, and a chemical peel with a dermaplane. So they can switch it up if they want. If one treatment they've had enough times that they're not into it. It's a 6 month commitment. And the results that I've seen from this, it just makes their skin look so much better. And they're ready for injectables. Their injectables look better. So we really try to e- educate our patients on that.
And what good marketing, because then they're going to look better and people are going to say like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Susie, you look amazing. What are you
What have you been
doing?
doing? Well, I've been exfoliating.
It's great marketing.
They get an injectable discount and a laser discount too. So it's synergistic with what we're trying to accomplish. And we've seen really good results from it. Again, my financial people hate me, but I have to just kind of
Well, whatever you're doing is working. So
like,
sometimes, right, it's not about like, oh, well, the business gurus say I need to do it this way. When you know your business so well and you know your patients and your clients, like you have to do what you believe in your heart is right.
Yeah. I
How did you build did you guys start day one with a membership program, or how did you guys build that in after?
It was pretty early on. Like I started, I would say probably 6 months into injecting when we started, and I've hired my first esthetician. I started thinking to myself, people are really hesitant to sign up for these treatments. Like they're not understanding the value of them. So what can I do to get them to see that like committing, because like I said, one diamond glow is not going to change your life. One microneedling session isn't going to build the collagen and create those microchannels and fill those microchannels with collagen consistently unless you're doing it multiple times a year. So how do I get people to see that? So that was my answer to that. I saw that kind of issue. And once that program took off, I think that's what really changed things for me too.
Yeah, and then that revenue is coming in every month. You can
Yeah.
rely on, if you have like a 6-month commitment,
Right.
then you can almost plan ahead a little bit as well.
And the result, and let me be real. There are times when people are like, my husband's in the hospital. I can't. We're not going to make you keep paying for this. If you're not happy, that's the other problem with me. If you're not happy with what you're doing, or you're not, God, go with God. I am happy. I'm not going to hold you to a 6 month commitment if you do. But we don't have that many people that drop out because, they love it. So it's not
Right, you're providing value. When you're providing value and people are feeling that, they keep coming back.
right.
It's when, people, some of these brands and some of these companies charge so much, but they're missing the value piece.
Yeah.
Like that's just a dying business right there.
Yeah. We're not going to put you
Um,
in jail if you choose to not continue with your VIP. It's fine. Like,
there is a little clause out.
it's all good.
Okay, talk to me about social media because that is something that I've seen you lean into. You're bringing your kids into it, which I think is amazing. Talk to me a little bit about like what it was like starting and how you feel about it now, and then also like some of the opportunities, like the doors that have opened up because of it.
I think I started social media honestly because I felt very misunderstood. I it's just kind of interesting. I feel like people think they know you, and I do feel like the more they actually learn more about me and where I came from, and not that I'm more likable, but just they get that I am a business person, but I have feelings too. And I raised these 3 kids. I have a whole nother life outside of my business. And I started to think that I don't think people realize that. I don't know that I think that they think I'm all about just making money. And no, quite the opposite. I want good things for you. And I want good things, I want you to know where I came from. So I was encouraged by everybody, you've got to get on social media more. People need to know who you are. And once I started to, like I said, lean into that, I think it did help people to see that there's a personality and a face and a human heart behind this business that I'm running. And I tell all of my providers that. I said they have to get to know you. They will not just see a name on a page and click and want to book with you. They have to know that you care about them. They have to know that you
Hmm.
know what you're doing. So that's the world we live in now. And it's, you know, I don't want to say a necessary evil because there are things about,
It's a love-hate relationship, right?
there are some things that I'm like, oh God, I don't want to say this. But also too, I think knowing myself, it's helped me know myself too, and know when something comes up that somebody presents to me that doesn't feel genuine, I'm like, I'm not doing that. No,
Right. You can say no now, right?
no, exactly. Like, we're not doing that. But my kids are part of my business, so I think that's also a unique perspective they can provide too. Um, I don't know. My sister's like,
Right.
if you don't get a reality show out of this, I don't know what. But I'm like, we haven't even started. These kids have a lot to say. Like they're
Right? Okay. One thing what I love, I used to work in reality TV, by the way, so I'll put in a good word for you.
okay. I mean, I say that, but there are pitfalls to that too. Like,
Oh, there sure are.
my God.
Absolutely. I do love that you have a twin sister, and I feel like that's something that
Yeah.
people don't realize
Yeah. And we're
is that you do have a twin.
completely opposite in the best way. Like she looks at my life, and she's like, God bless. I'm not doing any of that. Like but she's at home playing mahjong. She loves it. So, she's supportive, but it is a funny dynamic because I've always been the one that's like more stress. I'm gonna have all the kids, I'm gonna do this. And she's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not doing
She's like, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to watch you do it. You're doing great.
that.
Keep going.
She's like, yeah, I love it. Do my Botox. But
Right.
so
So when you started, I'm bringing up an interesting question.
mm,
When you started and you decided to become a business owner and be on social media and do these things, did you notice a shift in friendships or family? Like, how did people respond to what you were doing?
yeah, it wasn't always great. I'm not gonna lie. There's some friendships that I lost. There were some family dynamics that switched and had to change. And Um, it wasn't always great. There were times in my life that I think people and I don't even really know what the shift was, but definitely friends who thought would be supportive or I thought would be supportive were not supportive at all. So, I don't think I think I think knowing that it's not about you, there's things going on, and I've talked to my kids about this so many times. Listen, you you cannot live and die by what other people think about you. You can only know yourself and that you have the best intentions and you're a good person, you've got good values and that is all I can present to the world. And I'm not for everybody and I'm not going to be for everybody. So if someone doesn't like me because of that or someone that's more about them than me. And
Right. If they have insecurities that they haven't started something, like that can come through.
I think so. So I try to help people. I really do. If someone comes to me and asks me what they should do with their next phase of life, oh my gosh, I want to help you. Like, let's talk about it. But, like I said, there are certainly people that I thought would be more supportive that weren't. Um, I don't let it consume me or keep,
You surely haven't let it stop you. So that's awesome.
no, I had to keep them.
Nor should you ever.
And the cringe thing. The kids used to be very much like, "Oh my god, mom, that's so cringe. You're on social media." And I always thought to myself, "Well, this is helping my patients get to know me more, and if I'm cringy, I guess that's the way it is, that they don't like me." I don't know.
Then they don't come, right? You're like, great. You like that vacation I just took you on because this business is
I
helping
said
pay for
that,
that.
like, guess what's paying your bills right now? Guess what's paying your college tuition? My cringe. My cringe.
Yes, exactly. My daughter was doing some of the same stuff. And now when brands send stuff, I pay her 20%
Oh
as my
my god,
content director.
amazing.
And guess who suddenly loves it?
Yeah, exactly, and I think they all kind of started off like, "Oh, mom's got a little business." Well, they're all working and for me now. So, and they all came to me asking me to, I didn't say to them, leave your job and come work for me. They all said, you know what? I've been working in corporate America for 4 years now. I hate it. I think I can really add value. And I was like, I've been waiting for this. I know you can add value, a lot of value.
How,
Thank you, Jesus.
what, I mean, what an incredible feeling that is to not only build the business, but then be able to bring your kids and provide something that
Yeah.
they can build and grow with. Like, that's got to feel really pretty freaking cool.
It's been a really good transitional year for that. My son started off first working for us and then doing more of behind the scenes things. And my daughter, I always knew would be a great addition, but I never wanted to be that person who, talked her into a decision she wasn't ready for. Or if she loved her job, I wasn't going to be that person to, say, well, you got to come work for your family now. So over Christmas break, things kind of her job, she just wasn't super happy and she had worked there for about 4 years. And again, she just came to me and said, with River North opening, I know you need help. I think I could really help you. And I thought, I know you can help me. And
Hmm.
I've been dying for this day. So she's been phenomenal.
That's awesome. And yeah, you have to wait for it to be on their time because if it's your idea, then, there can be some resentments or feelings that, if it's more authentic and they're ready to do it, that makes it a completely different
Ab-
situation for them.
Absolutely. So yeah, you can't, just like anything in life, it's got to be their idea, Sarah. Parenting for one. Don't
You can like skirt around it, but at the end of the day, it has to be their idea.
Gentle advice, as what does my therapist say? Disassociate with love. Like, disassociate with love.
You're like, I know you'll be coming back around and working here
Yeah.
at some point.
Mhm.
That's so cool. Um, Is there been anything like we only have a couple more minutes, but anything that like you have that you do on the regular basis for like mindset, running one location is a lot.
Yeah.
Running two locations is next level. What do you do on like a daily basis to keep a positive mindset, keep educating yourself? Like what does your day-to-day look like with those things?
Yeah, it's been tougher recently because I used to be much better about sitting and journaling, taking more time to mentally prepare for things. But my days have been a little more chaotic, but I try to walk on the lakefront. I try to walk every day just to clear my head, hence my crazy headset um, that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I try.
I need to get one of those.
I know. And I really try to focus on gratitude. Like no matter what's going on in the day, not that I'm always a positive person, but if I have to drill this into my kids' heads more that, the gratitude, the manifesting. I've always been a strong believer in manifestation. And when I go back and look at my journals I write every year of what I see my life as, it's scary how true they are. It's scary. Even write down
Wow.
names. Yes, it's crazy to I have in one of my journals, I will wake up every day and look at the water and make breakfast and, a couple other things, but, here I am in my condo overlooking Lake Michigan. So, that was like 3
Oh, I have
I
chills.
know, I wrote that 3 years ago, never thinking that I did not know we were gonna sell our house. I didn't know where we were gonna live, but I knew I wanted to live near, like, a water view. So, it's just
Do you do your manifesting through journaling mostly?
journaling, yeah. I have
Okay.
stacks of journals that yeah, and I try to tell my kids this too. I this year had said I wanted to be I moved to the city and I don't know anyone and I don't have friends here. So I do miss my friends from Park Ridge, but I thought, I need to put myself out there a little bit and start meeting people. So I wrote down a list of names of people that I'd kind of been in contact with or seen. Literally the next day, that person, one of the people on the list, not the next day, but the next month, reached out to me, "Hey, do you want to go get to dinner?" We are now like almost best friend. Like we're very good friends.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just a weird, I don't know. I need to
The universe works
it,
like when you put your energy out there towards something, the universe delivers like exactly what you need.
right. And I think it sounds so woo woo and crazy, but yes. And then trying not to get mired down in, like you said, negativity you see online or jealousy when I see, I'll see some of my competitors post something on um Instagram or TikTok and I'm like, "Damn, I wish I would have thought of that." And
Yeah.
but that's it. Like kudos to them. Move on. Like that's great.
Right. Great job. Yeah.
That like, I'm not that's the extent of it. So,
Right. And use that as motivation of like, wow,
yeah.
that's really cool. What's
What can
something
we do
different that I
better?
can do?
Yeah,
Like use that as
exactly.
fuel. Yeah.
Outside the box. Yeah.
That's very cool. All right. Before we wrap up, one thing that I love to leave listeners with is what is the one thing you would tell people that they could do today that would improve their lives or their business?
Hmm. Great question. I think take inventory on how you are showing up every day. So I try to do that actually. One of the things I do try to do every day is think to myself, how am I participating in if there's an issue going on, how am I showing up as a leader? And I think taking a lot of internal stock into my own actions and how my employees may be viewing what's been going on or so I do feel like that's helped a lot every single day thinking we just had something come up recently and or today really we were on a team meeting and I said to them this is about our it's not a failure, but it's about a gap in what we haven't provided this person. So let's think about how we can show up better. And I think that's really does it's a lot of it is how you are showing up as a leader or as a business owner or trying to manage people. Not
Yeah,
not that
that's
everything's
so spot on.
but it's true.
It's so true. I love the concept now of radical responsibility. And if you just, radical responsibility and accountability. And
Yeah.
it's like if you take everything in your life and you say, this is all my fault, every aspect of it, what do I need to do that's different to either make my environment change or my business change? oh my God, you're unstoppable. It's like, it's when you put that blame on everybody else that you're going to be stuck where you are forever.
We can only control how we react to things. We can't control how other people are going to behave. So, you know, controlling your emotions and having emotional regulation and having, wisdom is a huge thing too. So I just feel like, again, you can only control how you're behaving in a certain scenario. And that's it.
I love it.
It's oversimplified, but it is kind of the truth.
Sometimes that's the best advice, though. So if people want to check out either of your locations or follow you on social media, where's the best place for them to go?
So my personal Instagram is Danielle at ATBnew. And then obviously we have Beautifully New. I think it's Beautifully New Chicago is the
Are you going to do a different page for Chicago than Park Ridge?
I don't think so because we have so much of the same. Really, we're not going to do a separate Instagram page because there's so much crossover.
Yeah.
Treatments are the same. We keep our brand is the same. So, but that's our Instagram, and then we're of course on Facebook, which I don't think anyone even uses anymore. But
It's funny. I'm like never on there anymore.
no,
Yeah. I'll link all of this in the show notes as well. But I so appreciate you. It's been so fun following your journey. And I'm sure this is like, I feel like you're now in step 2, but there's so much even more in your future. And I'm just excited to see what else you do out there. So thanks for coming on and best of luck with location number 2.
That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Nothing Small About Business. Make sure you follow this show so you don't miss the value in upcoming episodes. Share this with someone who's growing and connect on socials for more.